Welcome back to Cooking with Tris, real food for real people. Today, in a homage to all things Italian-American, we're going to be making some amazing spicy meatballs with pasta in red sauce. Why? I have no idea. Maybe I've been watching too many Martin Scorsese films of late, or I just fancy having this for dinner. Whatever the reason, I know you're going to love this dish. It's super tasty, packed full of flavour, and it's really simple to make. It's perfect on a Friday or a Saturday night. So what's in it? Well, the main event for this dish are the meatballs. Literally anything will go here. Today we're going to be making them out of some minced beef and some really nice pork sausages. We're just going to add some spices to spice them up a bit. But literally you can put anything in there. You can put sun-dried tomatoes, olives, cheese, whatever you like. But today we're going to kind of keep it relatively simple. And then for the red sauce is basically a tomato sauce. Simple tomato sauce with garlic, bit of sugar, vinegar, soy sauce. Really simple. Stew those things away, and then we're just going to blitz it up so it's really smooth. The reason for this is to just coat the pasta and to really just play second fiddle, as it were, to those meatballs, who, as I say, are the real star of the show. It's quite healthy. We're going to be baking the meatballs rather than frying them, so it's good in that sense. And yeah, as I say, really simple to make. In terms of the pasta, today we're going to be using some linguine. I like it because the sauce really sticks to it, but any spaghetti or any pasta, as long as it's long, will be perfect for this. Okay, so what have we got in it? Well, as I was saying, we've got about 200 grams of minced beef. I've got 3 good quality sausages here. And then to go with that as well, we've got 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, and we have some spices here. I've got a teaspoon of dried chilli flakes. I've got a teaspoon of paprika, and then we're just going to add some salt and some pepper. So that's for the meatballs. For the red sauce, oh, I forgot. We've got the onion as well. That's going in the meatballs. Very important. Nearly forgot that. Okay, red sauce. We've got 3 tomatoes. We've got a clove of finely chopped garlic. We've got some basil, found in the fridge. Got some basil leaves left, so we'll chuck that in. And we also have some sugar, a couple of tablespoons of vinegar, 200 ml of water, some soy sauce just for flavour, and again we're just going to add some salt and pepper there. Other things that you're going to need are some olive oil, which we're just going to add to different things, some butter, and then just to finish everything off at the end, you've got to have some Parmesan cheese, haven't you? So we've just got that as well. And that's it. Let's say pasta linguine. And that's it. Pretty simple, but literally anything goes here. I think the main thing here is the cooking techniques that I'm going to show you. So let's make a start. Right then, let's make some meatballs. What you're going to need is a big old pot like this for mixing everything together. You're going to need an oven-proof dish, which we're going to bake them in the oven. You're going to need a grater, because we're going to grate the onion. And that's it, the olive oil. So what we do to start off with, we just drop our meat into the bowl. Start off with the minced beef, then the sausages. Just going to squeeze them out like this. The reason we have the sausages basically is to help bind the minced beef. That with the minced beef, it's quite lean almost, so you need something quite fatty. So sausage meat is perfect for that. So I'm just going to whack these in there. Okay, that's that done. Our next step is to grate this onion. Reason we grate it is because I want to get rid of a lot of this moisture in the onion. So we grate it and then I'm going to squeeze as much of the liquid out of the onion and then put it back in here. You'll see. Okay, let's do it. I may start crying in a minute. Sorry, I get quite emotional when I'm grating onions. I do apologise. Here we go. So it's all grated up like this. What I'm going to do now is just take this over to the sink, squeeze it in my hands. You can use a, you know, like a dishcloth if you want a clean dishcloth, but I'm just going to do it, use my hands. I'll be back in a sec. And here you go. All the moisture has been squeezed out there, or as much as I can. So yeah, that's perfect. We just literally drop those into there, and then we drop our spices in. So I've got my paprika and my dried chilli goes in there, and then we've got a quarter of a cup of breadcrumbs. Drop those in there, and then we just get our hands in and give this a really good mix up. I forgot to say, do add some salt and pepper for seasoning. So there we go, like that. So what I'm going to do now, because I want to just check the seasoning, behind me I've got a frying pan on a high heat, and we're just going to get a tiny amount of this and we're just going to fry it, and we'll try it and see how it tastes. So I'm literally just getting a teaspoon, like a tiny amount, like so, just the tiniest thing. We'll just go over, drop this in the pan, cook it over on both sides, taste it, see what we think. And here it is, the tiniest burger in the world, cooking away. And here you go, cooked away like that. Just taste it. What I'm saying, that is pretty spot on. Nice. Yeah, I can taste all the spices and the different things there. Doesn't need any seasoning. If you do that and you taste it and you think it needs something, salt, pepper, just go ahead and add it. Okay, so that's it. I'm happy with this. Next, we take our oven-proof dish. We put a load of olive oil in it, like so, just so the whole thing is kind of coated. And then we turn this massive meatball into little individual ones. Now you can make them as big or as small as you like. I kind of like mine medium. I like to serve, say, 4, possibly 5 per person. So with this, for 4 people, let's try and get 20 out of it, say. Let's see how we go. There you go. Not quite. Got 19 out of it. Someone's going to have to go short. Probably me. It always happens like that. Okay, so there you go. As I say, you can make them bigger if you want, or smaller, and you know, whatever goes, whatever you kind of fancy. So these are going to go on the medium shelf in an oven at 170 degrees for about half an hour, I'd say. So I'm just going to pop these over into the oven, and then we'll get on and make that red sauce. So this red sauce couldn't be any simpler. It's got a really simple name because it's a super simple sauce. Right, I have a pan on top here. I'm just going to add a load of olive oil. I mean a lot of olive oil. Now, a good few glugs like so. And to that, we are going to add our garlic, already starting to fry away like that. And to that, we're going to add our tomatoes. Now, I've cut all the 3 tomatoes in half. Just going to drop them face down, like that. To that, we add our sugar, and then our vinegar, like so. A dash of soy sauce, just for flavour. I love using soy sauce. And then we're going to whack in a bit of basil, like so. And then finally, our water. And that is it. I'm going to keep this on a sort of fairly medium-high heat and just put the lid on. And I just want that to sort of basically cook away. Stew those tomatoes. I'm going to leave that there for about 20 minutes and then we'll just blitz it up and that's it, done. The meatballs have been going for about 12 minutes now, so about halfway through. So I'm just going to check on them. They're looking good. Just give them a shake around if they need it to make sure they're not sticking. And then they go back in for another, 10-12 minutes. It is time to get those meatballs out of the oven. Let's take a look and see how they are. They are looking perfect. Perfectly cooked, a little bit crispy on the outside. So I'm just going to take these out, stick them on the plate here. The great thing with this dish is that you can make these well in advance. I mean, you could make these early in the morning, get them all ready, and then just bring it together later on in the evening or whenever you're ready to cook. So these will quite happily sit here until you're ready to mix everything together. So this is a perfect sort of dish for a dinner party or when you want to get everything ready in advance. So these are good to go. And now, let's take a look at this red sauce. So it's really stewed down like so, which is really good. So next, let's blitz them up. Right, so I have my pot here. I'm just going to pour these in carefully as I can. And literally just blitz it up. And like the meatballs, you can get this ready well in advance. So that's completely blitzed up. Just going to add it back to the pan, like so, just to reduce it down a little bit and check the seasoning, because you'll have noticed that I didn't add any salt or pepper to start off with. That's why, you know, as usual, I'll want to wait till the end to make sure that it's just right. It's really good. You can really taste the basil there, the tomatoes, really quite sweet. So for that reason, I'm just going to add some pepper and a good bit of salt, like so. Give this a stir around and test it again. Taste it again. Wow, that's really good. Just a little bit more salt. Like so. And what I'm going to do here, just to add some extra richness, I'm going to grab from the fridge our butter, and I'm just going to put a bit of a knob of butter in here. You don't have to do this, but it just adds that something extra there. So just stir this around like so. And that is the red sauce. All we've got to do now is cook our pasta and bring all these things together. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Can't wait. It's time to make some pasta. I've got a pan on the hob here with some boiling water, and I'm just going to add to that a few glugs of olive oil. I know a lot of people say about using salt water, but I kind of quite like just adding olive oil there. Too much salt sometimes is a bit too much. Got my pasta here, my linguine. There's 500 grams in this box, so I'm going to use about half of that for 4 people. So I'm going to sort of roughly guesstimate a couple more strands. And there we go. Just get that in there. We're going to cook this away for about, I suppose it's about 8 minutes. We want this nice and al dente. So it's just slightly firm when you bite into it. So we're going to leave that going. We'll check it just before I think it's done to see if it's right. Boiling away nicely. Not only is the olive oil more healthy for you, it also stops the pasta from sticking to the sides. So it's awesome. Time to check the pasta. Here we go. Yeah, that's perfect. Just a little bit of firmness to it. Just right. Perfect. Let's get this drained. Right, the pasta's drained and we are ready to bring everything together. I've got a wok on a really high heat, ready to go. You can use a frying pan if you need to, but I like my wok here. And what we're going to do is add a few globes of olive oil. And then I actually learned this from Ralphie from The Sopranos. Bit of a nasty piece of work, but he certainly knew how to make pasta. So to the olive oil, I add a knob of butter, like so. And then to that, we add a couple of the teaspoons of the sauce. This is just what Ralphie recommends. And then we put the pasta straight in. The pasta wasn't sticky because we used olive oil, so that's great. And we just stir this round just to pick up that olive oil and butter, like so. It becomes quite shiny almost. So we keep it on the heat like this, and then we add our red sauce, like so, all the way in. I don't know whether this is really all that authentic. I have no idea. This is purely inspiration from all those films I've been watching, or series, mainly involving gangsters. So, we turn this around, we keep on turning around. What we want to do here, really, is coat the pasta and sort of, I don't know, reduce the moisture, reduce the sauce really down so it just sticks to the pasta. So I don't want it swimming in sauce. So I'm keeping it on this. Controversial, I know, and I'm sure there's some guys over in New Jersey who would completely disagree with me on the amount of sauce that goes with their pasta and meatballs. But this is my take, and I think it works really, really well. And that pasta's really absorbing the flavour here. And that's kind of what we want. Because, as we said before, the real star of the show here is the meatballs, which we're going to add in just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to keep this on the heat. That sauce has really reduced down a little bit longer. It's starting to stick a little bit at the bottom, and that's the indication, the bubbles and the sticking. So it's ready to go. So to that, we just add our meatballs. We drop them right in there, and we just stir this around. Just get them in. Yeah, it's really starting to stick now, so that is great. And what we're doing here, we're just warming those meatballs through. We are just coating them with the pasta and what's left of the sauce. I'm just going to turn the heat down just a little bit, just to let those meatballs sort of do their thing in there, pick up all the flavour, join with that pasta. So let's keep this at this low heat for just a couple of minutes. It's a couple of minutes later, so the meatballs have really made their way in there with the pasta, which is absolutely fantastic. They've warmed up, the pasta has absorbed pretty much all of that sauce, and it's starting, as I say, starting to stick at the bottom, which is great because it's going to caramelise slightly and add some extra flavour. Now I'm going to add, controversially, some Parmesan cheese here. I know I'm going to add more when I actually eat this, but I just like to add a little bit now just to give it that real kind of oomph. So I'm just covering over and I'm just going to stir that in. It's going to add flavour, it's going to add a little bit of texture, and it's just going to pick up the last of that sauce. So it's really all about the pasta and the meatballs here. That is looking brilliant. It's nice and thick, and yeah, it's all sticking together. So I'm just going to try this now, if I can actually pick some up. Excuse fingers. Really, really good. Perfect, in fact. Just finish off with some salt. Just needs a little bit of pepper, and then as a final flourish, just a drizzle of olive oil. One last turn over, like so. And we, as you can see, just to show you, all that sauce has been picked up from the bottom, so it's all pasta, all meatballs. And as I say, I think we are ready to eat. I can't wait. This is going to be absolutely delightful. This is fit for any godfather out there. This is the best pasta dish around. I know you guys are going to absolutely love making this. And here you have it. I'm so excited to try this. Of course, I've got to add some more parmesan. It just wouldn't be the same without it. So good, generous portion of that. And let's get stuck in. Got to try these meatballs first. Okay, I admit I've got more meatballs than I perhaps should do, but hey, don't tell anyone else. They are really, really good. Tender, a little bit crunchy on the outside, full of flavour, can really pick up the spices in there. The beef, the pork, it's the perfect combination. Really good. And let's try some of the pasta. As you can see, the sauce has really been absorbed here. It's going to really just have been cooked in to this pasta. So let's see. Yeah, it really has. It's full of flavour. It's kind of delicate, but at the same time quite robust, if that's even possible. But really good. This is my favourite ever pasta dish. Here's to you, Italian Americans. Whoever came up with this was a genius. I absolutely love it. Right, let me get stuck in. I'll see you soon for more Cooking with Tris. Real food for real people. See you soon.